In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the EChannel by Eventide to improve your recordings. First thing we have to do is select the recording we want to improve, click on the channel, open up the inspector, and under audio effects we need to go to audio units, Eventide, EChannel. This will bring up this window here, and this is the window that we're going to be working with. So as a quick run through, there are 5 separate sections, and each section can be turned on and off. So at the moment we can see that the compressor has been turned on, and that is turning it off. The 5-band parametric EQ is turned on, and we can turn it off. The first part only has a meter and a gain control, so we can boost or reduce the gain of our piece of music. The second section is a noise gate. I'm going to show you how that works. So we have our recording, and we can see the volume of our recording. We can see the signal is hitting -12. So in our gate, we need to turn it on and set the signal anywhere below -12. What the gate will do is it will allow anything above the threshold to come through, but anytime there is something below the threshold, it will not allowed to come through the gate, and the gate will turn down the volume. And we can see here, this bar all of a sudden slams down from the top down. That is the volume being brought down by the gate. We can choose how snappy and how slow the gate responds with this release pot. The shorter it is, the faster it will close, and the choppier it will make our sound. The more we increase it, the longer it will take to close and more natural it will sound. You'll have to listen to the sound and dial this in. So that's the input section where we can set the gain, and that's the gate, which we can turn on and off to stop the quiet parts of our sound getting through. The next section is the compressor. The compressor's main job is to decrease the loud parts of our signal so our signal is more consistent. It has less dynamic variance. The way we do that is we set the threshold lower than the top of our signal. What this will do is it will start bringing down the volume, much like a gate, but instead of muting the signal, it will just bring the volume down when the signal is getting loud. To activate it, you have to turn it on, and then what you're looking for is no more than 3 dB of reduction. So this gain is not going any further than 3 dB. So at the moment it's not doing anything. I'm going to bring this threshold down. You can see the gain reduction is starting. You can see I'm now getting around -3 dB of reduction. The knee is how soft the reduction is. If we go for 24 dB, it will be very subtle, whereas if we go for 0 dB knee, it will be very aggressive. The saturation will add harmonics to our sound and make it sound richer. It's definitely worth trying it out and listening to it. So that's the input gain, the gate, and the compressor. The next part is the parametric EQ. So to start off with, the parametric EQ might feel a little bit daunting because there are so many knobs and parameters that you can change. But what you want to do is you want to use this sheet here as a helper to get you started. So this is an electric guitar. And if we go to this section here, we can see where the electric guitar starts. The electric guitar starts at 82 Hz. That means below that, there isn't anything good. So we can use a curve in the EQ to get rid of it. So I can use a low cut and bring that up to 82 Hz. And that will start to bring down the volume of any of the frequencies that we don't need. These are 5 different curves that you can apply to the sound. And I wouldn't recommend to go above or below 3 dB to begin with. And I'll show you now the next part that we're going to look for. So at the bottom section we have electric guitar, and we can see that there is a bite to the instrument at around 2.5 kilohertz or 2500 hertz. So let's go find that. So I'm going to use this blue curve here because it's very close to 2.5. Bring this up to 2.5 kilohertz, and then I'm going to listen to the sound by boosting this at 3. And then reducing it by 3. And then deciding, do I prefer it with a boost, with a cut, or do I prefer it without anything? The next part of the electric guitar we're going to look at is the fullness. That's around 240 hertz. So this brown curve here is very close to that. Let me just slide it to 240. And we're going to boost it again by 3 dB. So listen to it without it first. Boost by 3 dB. And cut by 3 dB. And see which one we prefer. So that is a good starting point. I would recommend just experimenting with this. Try different curves in different areas and even searching around like this. Let me show you a method for searching. So let me just reset these to 0. So we're going to boost this one here by 3 dB. And then we're going to sweep the frequency around while the sound plays to try and find an element of the sound we like. And this is another really good way to get to know how an equalizer works and get to hear the different parts of the sound. If we find an area we like, we can add the boost of 3 dB. Whereas if we find an area we don't like, we can reduce the volume of that area by cutting it by 3 dB. So that's the EQ. Now the biggest tip I can give you is to turn on and off your curves and listen to it with and without and see if you've made a positive change to the sound. The other thing you need to do is listen to a song with an electric guitar in, so you can hear how it sounds in a fully produced song, so you know what you're aiming for, you're not just guessing. The last section is the output section, and again all it has is a gain control and a meter, so we can see how loud our region is and we can add gain. It also has a transformer which will add some soft saturation to our sound. It's very subtle, but try it out, see if you like it or you don't. If you do like it, then keep it. If you don't like it, don't engage it. Experiment, try and see how you can improve your sound. Once you're done working with the EChannel, you can close this window down, right click, go to bounce, in place, and you want to put it on a new track, but this time we'll say MD421 with EChannel. Leave the old one alone, and we want the effect, so make sure this isn't ticked, and normalize off. What this is going to do is it's going to bounce it in place with the EChannel in the track below. So these are the changes that we've brought about. Good luck.